YouTube? Welcome back to my channel. This is Canadian Retro. I've got another pickups video for you here, but something that I wanted to mention was basically what I've been up to lately, as well as shows I'm going to be going to, and things that I'm promoting here for, fellow people in the community. So let me get started on all of this sort of immediately here. First thing I wanted to mention is that the Waterloo video game swap has been announced. I'm not going to give you all the details right now just because I don't want to drag this out, but it has been announced, so that's pretty hype right there. I'm planning on getting a table there. Just have to hear back from a fellow gamer that I'm planning on getting tables with and things like that as usual, but as soon as I hear back about that, I'll let you know all the details as far as that goes, but pretty certain I'm going to get a table at that one. There's also going to be the GTA Collectibles Expo. I'm still trying to figure out exactly what date that's going to be on at this point, because I was talking to one of the organizers and he said the date might be changing, so I really don't want to announce that one yet until I can figure that all out. But whenever that one is, I will probably be going to that one too, as long as it doesn't conflict with anything else that I might be doing that weekend. I'm pretty sure that I'll be able to go to that one as well. So those are two things that I'm going to, but upcoming and first and foremost, something I'm really excited to go to, because a friend of mine now, Nintendo Hodge, who I met at a local Mississauga swap for collectibles and things like that recently, which I have a video for, in my backlog a little bit here, that you can see if you check out some of my previous videos. But he's hosting a show up in Barrie called the Barrie Game Exchange, and I just got it all written down here, all the info on it, but I will put up, like a promo thing actually right now for you guys to see. So as you can see there, it's coming up pretty shortly here. It's on Sunday, March the 20th. It's from 12 p.m. to 4 p.m., so you got a good 4 hours in there. It's at the Army Navy Air Force Club, which I've never been to, but I hopefully when I check it out, it's pretty cool. I think there's about room for about 100 vendors there, and I think that approximately 70 of those are sold. Last time I was talking to Nintendo Hodge, that's what he was saying. I think he said about there were 70 tables sold, so there's probably about 30 of them left. There might be a little less than that even now, and hopefully if you're somebody who is a game seller or whatever you like to call that, or interested in selling, this might be a good show for you to attend to sell things, but I'll get into that in a second. Continuing on though, it's at 7 George Street in Barrie, Ontario. So like again, I said Sunday, March the 20th, I'm going to be at that show. I'm not actually going to be a vendor at that show, just because at this point I really don't have the stockpile of stuff to warrant getting a table, but tables are pretty cheap. They're $30 each, which is probably one of the best deals around, I think, for getting tables. And admission to it's only $5 for anybody else, and I think it's kids under 10 are free. So really good deal right there. Nintendo Hodge is hosting that. He's a great guy, so I'm looking forward to a really great show, and I know there's a lot of different supporters of this show. There's gonna be a lot of different tables set up, that kind of stuff going on there. So really pumped about that. If you're interested in selling though, I'll explain this part to it right now. I would recommend doing one of these shows. I think the first show that I sold at was the GTA Collectibles Expo, which was a smaller show, which then allowed me, to kind of gauge how to go about pricing things, allowed me to do a variety of things like that, just sort of pumped me up to go to like the Waterloo video game swap kind of level, and absolutely was a worthwhile experience. If you're trying to unload a bunch of doubles or whatever, I recommend, if you're able to, go to the Barrie Game Exchange. If you're in the GTA, it's easy to get to this show. Definitely you could make it. It's not going to be that far out of your way to go up to Barrie to check this out for 4 hours. So like I'll put links and all that kind of stuff like I usually do, like Facebook pages. I'll link to the Nintendo Hodge's channel as well, because he's a pretty awesome guy, and I've already linked to him recently, but you never know. If you guys haven't checked him out, go do that. The next thing here is something that I've never actually done before, which was kind of exciting. I was able to participate on the Cartridge Canuck's channel on a podcast kind of idea, although it's not a podcast. I guess it's a Google Hangout kind of idea. I don't know what you'd really refer to that as, but I was just sitting here basically, on screen. We were chatting it up a little bit with a variety of other gamers in the community, and Paul was hosting that. That's the Cartridge Canuck. I'll put links down his channel as well, obviously down below. He's also a member of the Cartridge Club, and that video was called Let's Hang Out number 2, the Cartridge Club. So I'll put links to that video as well if you want to check it out. It's pretty long. Those guys were on for about 4 hours. I kind of came in at the end. I had a hockey game earlier on in the night kind of thing, and I had to figure out, you can see part of the video of me trying to figure out how to set this all up because I never had done it before. So I'm actually in the video while I'm trying to figure out how to get the audio working and whatever on there. So that part was kind of funny, but eventually it worked out, and I was able to participate in that, and that was pretty cool for me because I never really done something like that with the community before. It's mostly just been me, you know, making these videos, commenting on people's videos and things like that, not actually participating in a conversation like that. So it's tons of fun. I really enjoy it, and I'll probably be returning to that. It's pretty much open to anybody who wants to join in, so it's not a problem to get in on that conversation if you want to. I think what they're going to be doing is he's going to be hosting that usually once a week. I did ask him that question, not during it, but actually in the chat section, and he said that it was going to be, you know, on a regular basis kind of thing. So I'm looking forward to getting in on that again. Just have to figure out, you know, when my hockey games end kind of thing. But that's that part of it. I'm going to get into the pickups now because this is getting a little bit lengthy as it is. So let me get started on this. First thing I wanted to show you here, something I picked up from Tweeds. I think this is the first thing I picked up. This was a week back. It's just taken me a while to get things recently. It's been kind of rough out there, but this was definitely a pretty cool thing to get a hold of, that's for sure. And this is a Intellivision, which is Mattel Electronics right there. So that's pretty cool. I've never seen one of these out in the wild. I'm gonna have to get some AV cables and figure out how to hook this thing up, but it has, you know, already pre-wired in the electrical cord, so that's not a problem. Everything feels like it's in pretty good shape. It's got a few scuffs and marks and stuff like that. It's still covered with tape, but pretty cool nonetheless. And this one here was $25. Pretty cool right there. I think I'm probably going to resell it just because I'm not going to go any lower than the NES, I think. Just don't really have the, you know, that interest in going back that far as gaming stuff goes. But a pretty cool find, like I said, because I've never seen it before out in the wild. Moving on though, I'll get into this. This all came from police, I think, for the most part. This is something pretty cool right here. I found this was actually in the game board section, but it's an Assassin's Creed Brotherhood Da Vinci's flying machine, and sorry, there's the front of it there, and that's just a, you know, the flying machine kind of model. It doesn't come with the figure, which is separate. You'd have to buy that separately, but pretty cool nonetheless. I'll just open that up so you guys can take a look at this. I've never assembled one of these before, but to me it looks like everything's in there, and I think it's new because, I mean, everything's sort of like twist tied in there and the whole bit, but those are all the parts and pieces of it. So that's pretty cool right there. I'll probably won't hold on to this, so I don't really have the room down here for lots of like figures and stuff like that. I just don't really have the space for it, but definitely a cool little item to find, I think. And that one there, and I'm trying to remember what I paid now. That one there was $6, so I think that's a pretty cool deal right there for $6. And then the next things that I'm going to show you here, I actually got these ones all together at the same time, and I used a discount card on it, and I also used $1 off as well. So I can't tell you the exact prices that I paid for these things, but I'll just tell you what the sticker prices are. But understand I got like about $6 off on all of these things at the same time. So first thing, which is probably one of the coolest items that I got, is this right here, which is pretty wicked. This was sitting in their glass case. I'm pretty surprised it was sitting there. They had this one priced for $19.99, which I thought was pretty cool. It's another figure. Again, I'm going to be fixing this up and selling it off. I'll show you why in a second here, what I mean by fixing it up. But it's a Final Fantasy VIII Guardian Force Odin. So I've never seen anything like this before. I did a little bit of research on it. These go for a pretty penny if they're, you know, complete and everything, but there are but there is a couple issues with it. The box itself, other than being covered in tape again, because they always like to cover all these boxes with tape, but part of that, it's pretty worn, like on the front a little bit, like there's a dent here, and you know, the box is definitely not like collector worthy kind of shape, but you know, for what it was, I wasn't gonna leave it behind. So let me get into this right here for you. A little bit of a closer view of everything. So there it is right there. You'd have to know the characters from Final Fantasy VIII to really recognize this stuff, but pretty neat all around, and I'm sure somebody would be after this. One of the problems with this, though, this is like the problem with it, is Odin himself, Guardian Force Odin. He's got his head off. So something has, I don't know what, if it's just like broken off there or something like that. I know his head, I've seen videos on this because I checked it out after I bought it. His head's supposed to articulate, and I think someone has just sort of like ripped his head off. So hopefully I'll be able to kind of super glue it back in place and still have it articulate and move around. But he's pretty cool. Like, I don't know, like I don't know really a whole lot about figures and whatnot, but pretty cool nonetheless. And this little cape on him, which I've heard, and I don't even know if I should do this. Oh yeah, there we go. This little piece usually like broke off for people and stuff like that, but that part's intact. He's just right now a Headless Horseman though, but hopefully I can just sort of glue that back in place. And again, this one's going to be something I'll just use to trade off or something like that. I mean, it's really cool. Wish I could hold on to it, but again, like I said, I don't have the room down here for that, so that's gonna have to go. But you know, I'll miss that a little bit. Some pretty cool things though I did find. Some of this came from, oh no, sorry, this is at the same time. I shouldn't mess up the order here. This came at the same time when I used like my discount and whatnot at the Tlees. I picked up a couple of GBA games, or sorry, a GBA game and a couple of DS items. So first one here is Yoshi's Island DS. I picked that up for $5 minus whatever discount, however you want to work that out. So something like that, but I didn't have this in my collection. Really wish I could get this complete, but still nonetheless, pretty cool little addition to the collection. I did not have that, so that will go with my loose DS games that I, you know, will eventually find cases for. The other thing I found here, this is pretty cool, is a multi-cart type of thing for the DS as well. And this one says, you know, it's for the DSi and DS, NDSL, whatever. It works on the DS that I have anyways, so that's pretty cool right there. And really the reason why I bought this though, it pays for itself kind of thing, because it already had a micro SD card, like a 4 gig micro SD card in it, so I'd pay $5 for that all day long. I'll be able to use that, and it actually came loaded with a whole bunch of games and whatnot. But again, that's something I'm not really gonna hold on to. I want the legit cartridges and whatnot, but for a micro SD card, and you know, that I can probably recoup that, no problem. And then the last thing, which is pretty cool, it kind of gets me closer to one of my goals here. I was actually speaking about this game in the cast that we were doing last night, but this is something I've been sort of on the hunt for. I want to get the NES version of it, but it's Kirby's Nightmare in Dreamland. And what this is, if you're not aware of this GBA title, this one here is actually a remake of Kirby's Adventure on the NES, just with like updated graphics kind of thing. And people give it like generally pretty good reviews in relation to that. For some reason, I don't think the nostalgia factor's there for this game or something for people when they're comparing it against the NES title. So I don't know about that, but it looks pretty good to me. It gets me closer to finding that Kirby's Adventure that I'm always after kind of thing. And right there I have it on the GBA for all intents and purposes right now. So pretty cool right there. You should probably check that one out if you haven't checked out any gameplay footage of that. It looks pretty decent to me. And next thing here, I stopped in at the Mississauga flea market, I think that's the name of it, and picked out a couple of things that I thought were pretty decent. Usually when you go in there, a lot of their games and whatnot are, how do I put it, just basically like sports fodder, a lot of stuff that they're trying to unload. The location that's in there, they actually have a store, and at their store, like, they obviously sell quality and that kind of thing, but they're pretty much trying to unload stuff at the flea market that you know, isn't the greatest quality, or people aren't buying it at the store and whatnot, but you can find things in there on occasion from time to time, and that's basically what I did here. So they were selling off all their PSP titles that they had brought there for 2 for $5, which I think is absolutely an amazing deal. So I jumped all over that, and I picked up a puzzle game. I didn't really know a whole lot about it, but I didn't have it in my collection, and that's Mercury. So that's just like a puzzle game kind of thing. I can't remember if I've heard of this before. I think I heard some decent reviews of it. I don't know a whole lot about it. You guys let me know if you've played it, what you think of it, but still cool nonetheless. And then something, I have the second one of these, and this game always interested me. This is one of those things that kind of sparked my interest in the PSP originally. I never got around to picking up this copy of it just because by the time it came out I didn't really, there's other things that I was sort of sparked my interest a little bit more, but once I saw this new, I kind of had to have it in my collection, and that's Loco Roco. So this is a pretty cool little adventure platforming kind of idea where you're like a blob and you're trying to navigate your way through like hazards and whatnot to get to the end of the level. It's pretty cool. If you haven't checked out Loco Roco, check it out. This one and the second one are pretty cool. I don't know if there's any additional ones after that, but some nice additions to the PSP collection, I think. And for $2.50 each, I'm not going to turn that down. You can't even get that like in thrift store prices these days, so pretty sweet right there. I also picked up a couple of Game Boy Advance titles, which are pretty cool. One of these I saw recently, and I'm trying to remember what channel it was on. Somebody was highlighting on a channel, either they're doing gameplay of it or a review. I can't totally recall all of that, but it's Pac-Man Collection, and you can see like they used to have $15 on that, but that wasn't selling at that price. I got that one for $2.50 because it was again like the 2 for $5 kind of idea. So I got that one, and then I also got Super Dodgeball, which is an Atlas title. They also had a couple other titles there I was kind of showing interest in, but decided to not bother with them. But Super Dodgeball is pretty cool right there. I heard it does suffer from a little bit of slowdown at times, but still a fairly quality title, and you know, an update of like dodgeball games on the NES. So really excited about that one there, and didn't have either of those in my collection, so for $2.50 each, that's no problem right there. Next one here I got just sort of round things out. I think this one's slightly a label upgrade, although this one's not in the world's greatest shape. I'm still trying to find this game complete, just because I did love this one on the NES. This is like the Genesis updated version of this game, and it's a pretty quality title as well, and that's Championship Pro-Am. And basically that's just like an update of RC Pro-Am on the NES, but I already have it in my collection. This one here I think was $5, so I thought that was a pretty good deal for this. I don't think it goes for much more than that, but definitely something I was going to leave behind. Like I was saying before, usually there's like a lot of sports titles and stuff like that. Obviously this is, I guess, considered a sports title, but not in the same vein as like the multiple copies of, you know, NHL 90, whatever it is that they have there. So, you know, that's pretty cool find to find in the stacks. And then the last one here is Space Harrier 2, which I didn't have in my collection. I do have the original Space Harrier on the Master System, but I decided to pick this one out. Unfortunately, no box for it, and I know some people are sticklers for that, but I do have a pretty good system for storing loose Genesis games, so it doesn't really bother me that much. If I can get it, I can always complete it later. So pretty cool right there. This one here, as you can see, like says Mega Drive at the bottom, so maybe that's the reason why people weren't picking it up, because it's not like Genesis kind of idea. It's a Mega Drive game, but for me, not a problem. On the Retron 5, it'll read that, no problem. So pretty cool right there. It gets pretty decent reviews as well, so kind of nice all around. And that's everything I got to show you this time around, so thanks again for watching. Don't forget to check out the Barrie Video Game Exchange, and also the Cartridge Canuck channel. Like I said, I'll put links to all that stuff down below. Thanks again for watching. If you haven't subscribed yet, please do feel free to thumbs up this video, comment down below, and I will see you all later.